And we're live with One Piece. End of the year One Piece is always kind of weird, and it's also weird that we've had to do end of the year One Piece like 2 or 3 times now.
End of the year, beginning of the year, depending on where you're looking at it.
It's like there's the breaks are frequent at this point of the year, so it's like
it's very strange.
But yeah, another year of One Piece wrapped up. Maybe we should have done like a tier list actually to celebrate the year.
The 32 chapters you read?
There was 35 chapters I think this year, or something like that. Which is like, that's just kind of with pandemic and all of that. I'm surprised we got as many chapters as we did. So I'll take what we can get. Hopefully next year he can hit like 40. That'd be nice, because we gotta get out of this Japanese country already and go on to the North.
I mean, he was on that's like a 67% rate. Like 67% of the year was One Piece weeks.
Yeah, that's true. So chapter 1035, Zoro versus King, is the chapter where Zoro fights King. No, we're not going to talk about Zolo here. They don't address the fact that Chuji and this mouse from Sanji's childhood are actually identical down to the tail. But Sanji even thinks about it, so it's like, is that just a weird coincidence? I guess so.
That's just what mice look like in One Piece.
There is no variance.
That's like saying all the Denden Mushis look similar, so they should all be the same.
They don't.
I know they don't. Well, they didn't. Well, that didn't start happening until after, like once they started to really get into it. Otherwise, they all did look the same.
I guess they had different shells. I'm sure. It is worth noting that Sanji's eyebrows are back to how they used to be here.
Are they?
Yeah.
You've only seen his left eyebrow the whole time.
Well, it's swirling to the right as opposed to the left now, which last time we saw Sanji was swirling to the left because of Germa modifications.
And the bottom right, is that his eyebrow like transforming back? It looks really weird.
I think it's just the shading, but I think it's just there to highlight that it is back to how it was. So it's like, were those it would have been funny if those were drawing mistakes, but there's no way that they could be drawing mistakes when Oda like showed those panels of the Germa kids and then Sanji.
The eyebrow should be going the other way, because I'm looking at a panel of Yanji right now, and they're going that direction.
No, last chapter they were going inwards, I thought.
No, I'm looking at that chapter right now.
Uh-oh.
Cool.
Well, post a picture, I guess, because I could have sworn they were going the other way. I guess this isn't the most important of things. Oh, you're right. Yeah. Okay, so they're still this way. Cool. All right. I was mistaken. I will edit all that out so I don't look like a fool. Zoro.
Willer's going to edit out that he was wrong.
Yeah, there's no... I am the world government. I'm going to Buster Call this podcast. So Zoro's still fighting King, and, it's a Zoro fight. I don't know what else to say.
Racism and all.
Yeah, like, the Zoro racist theory is the best thing that the fan base has ever put together. And look, like, once he sees this guy's dark skin, he starts fighting even harder. I'm just saying.
I can't fight him while limbs are on.
Zoro.
King is too hot, IMO. Like, that is a handsome fella.
Yeah.
And they don't even talk about his gimp outfit. Like, we don't get to know why he's kinky.
That's true. I guess he just shops at the gimp store because it can cover his whole body. I wonder if
he thought it was cool.
I wonder if his skin is red. I'm gonna assume it is.
Ooh.
Because I mean, it's hard to tell in a black and white manga, but it's got that shade.
What's the color version come out, and this guy's pale as fuck?
No, I mean, who knows? His hair's probably black, even though Oda didn't color it in.
His hair's probably like, fucking dark green.
I thought his hair was white.
Well,
you would think.
What makes you think that? Are there colors in any of these pages?
No, it's just like it reminds me of like long type of wigs that like imperialistic people would have in like England and like.
Sure, Tyler, it does remind you of that. But you're new to One Piece, reading One Piece Black and White, where Oda will constantly do the stupidest colors. Have you noticed that Queen's hair in these panels is shaded in black, but he's blonde in the anime for no reason? Like,
I mean, I knew he was blonde at the time. Like, that was easy.
No, that wasn't easy. You met him blonde. Wait, I guess you didn't. But I'm sure there's a podcast discussion where we talk about him being blonde, and you're like, "Yeah, what the fuck's up with that?"
Like whenever Dinjiro was like gone, and like we saw him, like I knew that afro was blue. Like, did y'all not know that? Did I never
But
say this?
when they colored Denjiro's hair, it was white, and they don't shade it in. That's the Oda will shade stuff in and then color it something completely irrelevant. But whatever.
This is me yanking your chain.
Yeah, you're being a shit right now.
I am yanking your samurai sword.
Over the holiday break, I talked to my One Piece reading friend Gus, and he brought out something that kind of resonated with me. He's really liking Wano so far, but he brought up something that I agreed with, where the choreography of these fights is a little stunted because Oda is kind of not doing in between panels to the action. Like, there's no filler panels to show the flow of motion. He's just cutting from like pose to pose to pose. Like, it's kind of hard to even tell what Zoro does here. It looks like he deflects King and sends him the other way. And then also because there's so much dialogue going on, like, the panels are also smaller. So, like, you have to see that King lands on a porch here in, like, a smaller panel than I feel like earlier One Piece fights would have let some of these shots breathe a little more. And then I think it's, like, I saw one later that's really bad, but a little break from that, we do get to see how Kaido met King here, where he saves him from some research facility, which...
look, that's PH006.
PH006?
Down bottom right.
I'm looking at the bottom right, and I don't see anything.
Look right above Kaido's head.
Look at the, yeah.
Oh, it's very small. Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah.
So this is Punk Hazard. I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
The you can tell it's Punk Hazard just by this stripe pattern, which I thought was pretty cool. But like, I guess it's confirmed to be.
That's also like just a standard like don't touch this thing kind of pattern you would see. But I think the architecture just we see here is also very similar.
Yeah, but like that pattern was all over Punk Hazard, so Oda is definitely consistent there. And it's cool then because this would be before Caesar took over, so this would have been Vegapunk or someone before Vegapunk.
Do you think this was the reason why that place got shut down?
The place got shut down. Well,
because Caesar used the Caesar was doing bad experiments. That's why.
Yeah. Caesar nuked him with gas, and then they covered it up with the Akainu no Aokiji fight.
Gotcha. Okay. I didn't know if they actually gave an actual explanation.
I was gonna say good memory, Tyler, but also he has recently been like from someone's shoulder watching One Piece with his girlfriend. So
blaming me for rewatching.
No, this is good. We'll take it.
Yeah.
I don't have a good memory.
Well, you had one better than us there. So here's another one where like King like dodges the blow, and then like as he's turning, there's no lead up to him shooting this dragon attack. It just happens, and Zoro has to dodge in the same panel, and then you don't get a lead up to this follow up attack that he does. So like, yeah, because Oda's kind of like fitting so much plot and like rushing kind of these fights a little bit, so much of the in between panels get eaten up. I will say what is nice though here is this one. I thought this was really good paneling where Zoro gets kicked by a flying kick and then he rolls under it and does like an upward slash. It's probably the best choreography in the whole fight here. I think it looks dope. Actually, one of the doper Zoro attacks. Also like the return of King's cool sword. So like there's a lot of cool stuff going on in this fight. The
do they class Command Conqueror's hockey there in the bottom?
That's not like one of those no touch clashes. That's Zoro pushing away. Okay. And he's making the hockey sparks, which have been kind of a consistent if those are Conqueror or just normal. I feel like when I think they are Conqueror when Zoro's doing it here.
Yeah, he's got black blades and King's blade right there, so it's definitely infused.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
When's the last time Zoro fought another sword used
I
it.
mentioned this. I think the last time he fought an actual swordsman was back in Fishman Island.
Yeah, Fishman Island.
Is it Fishman Island?
Mm-hmm.
Because Pika was not a. I think Pika had like a glaive, but no one would call him a swordsman.
Pika's a fucking kaiju. Like,
Yeah. There's also he clashed with Fujitora a little bit, so that also kind
but that wasn't like
But yeah, it wasn't a serious fight.
it wasn't like the conflict didn't really end. It was more like they bounced off of each other and kind of moved along.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then like here's like they're clashing swords here, but it just looks so lazy. Where like we're just showing little sword clinks and like they're just talking while it's doing. So like the finale of this fight ends up being a little underwhelming for me because it's just Zoro Beam Blade number 7.
Yeah.
And I will say I like how it's like a big panel and like we got like a lot of.
I like this overhead shot. I like this overhead shot on the right. I just noticed that.
Of him cutting through the flame dragon.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. But I am a little whelmed by this fight. Like story wise, it's cool that he's fighting like from this ancient race, and we find out next chapter that this is like Kaido Zoro straight up. There is no closer parallel, I think, in the story to like a Luffy Zoro relationship than Kaido and King.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's kind of a bummer that we didn't get to see that play out in the story at all. We just get to see it in a single flashback in one page next chapter. So, I don't know. I think King ends up being a little underwhelming. People are like, I've saw people saying that like, oh, at least King was cool and like that bum Queen. And I'm like, Queen is way more interesting and entertaining than King ever was. Like,
Yeah.
just because he looks hot and cool now does not mean that he really did it for me as an antagonist.
Well, the good news is that Oda knows his fans and knows that generic swordsman Zoro stands love generic swordsman enemies, so that's why they like him so much.
Like he had his, I think, early, like middle of the fight where he's doing those wing pterodactyl moves is when he like stands out more as a fighter.
No, when he was doing his hybrid form stuff, he was
and then
the fucking
the
dope.
picks.
But like this climax, like you said, it was just like, oh, okay, I guess we just go back to being swordsman now.
And like let's talk. So now that we got all these Straw Hat fights out of the way, they all kind of ended in pretty generic Straw Hat finisher. Like Zoro does a beam, Sanji does a kick combo. Jinbei
You think Robin was generic?
So I was gonna say Robin's is the one standout because Jinbei does a shockwave punch. Frankie shoots a beam, and technically he hasn't finished a fight with a beam before, so that was pretty. I actually kind of like the finisher of the Frankie, where like he gets knocked out of the robot and he does like a rolling beam attack, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Robin's is definitely the standout there because she does a cool WWE leg.
She gets a whole new ultimate, Empire Warriors 5, that I can't wait to never do.
Oh, I mean, that Zoro move would be cool to do in Pirate Warriors 5, don't get me wrong, but, you know, it's just, Zoro's finished a lot of characters with the big beam. At least when Luffy's punching someone, it's like, ooh, what punch is he going to do this time?
It's always something different.
He's gonna do the same one he did last year.
No.
King Kong, right? Oh, well, he did but did not. It's very strange.
I mean,
Did he?
he beat Katakuri with like a different move than he beat Doflamingo, which is a different move than he beat Caesar. Like Luffy varies up his finishers at the very least.
Oh no, I was joking about last year in manga time. He used the rock gun, and now he's using the red, or he used the red rock.
And now he's
using rock gun.
Yeah, now he's just using rock.
And I think that's all the straw. Like Chopper didn't get a fight. Usopp and Nami's fight got finished by a Big Mom, so that's a
No,
interesting
Nami
move.
finished ulting herself. She did that.
That's true, but it was like a Thunderlance tempo, which is what she's been doing since CP9, if I remember correctly. Right? It was. So yeah, a little whelmed by some of these
Usopp
finishers.
has to fight CP0?
Oh no, yeah, go to Usopp right now in this chapter.
Usopp.
We get actual God Usopp this chapter.
I don't like beardless Kaido. Let me throw that in there. He looks all sorts of wrong.
He got a baby face.
Baby old man face. But yeah, like Kaido and King almost never interacted this arc, which makes this not hit very much for me. It's cool that like Zoro had a parallel, but this would have. It's just one of those things where like there's so many characters where like would have been cool to have a chapter that set this up so that this fight finale has a little more impact.
I think Oda's leaving breadcrumbs for the eventual Kaido flashback.
God, I hope so. Yeah.
Because this seems too much of like a like I feel like Kaido is going to be the almost inverse Moria Luffy kind of thing, where it's like up until now his will to go get the One Piece was broken essentially, and that's why he wanted to kill himself, because he felt like he's not going to be able to do that. He might as well just end his life, you know. Because there's a very stark difference when you see him talk about the Joy Boy now and then he is in this flashback.
Yeah, so yeah, here he's talking about how, like, Kaido, first of all, it's worth noting that we found out today that Kaido's name can be interpreted as Joy Boy or, like, Laughing Man or something like that. And whether or not that's intentional, Oda does that kind of stuff with Japanese puns, so it's definitely on the table. So it's like someone in the past wanted Kaido to be the Joy Boy, and now King also believes Kaido could have been the Joy Boy. And at the end of the day, King says, as long as you make a world that's different, I'll continue to fight for you, and I'll be the strongest swordsman. Also interesting that he says he wants to be the greatest swordsman, but like I didn't even think of King as someone who valued swordsmanship up until right now. Wow, this is an incredibly rushed character. I'm just gonna say it. I know people are kind of like really liking King now, but I'll be the hot take and say this is really rushed when I think about it. But yeah, so Kaido wanted to be the Joy Boy. It seems like what I think, Joe. What happens is Kaido's the person who crushes Moria's dream, and then like Moria and Crocodile kind of plateau, and they have to like stay in the Grand Line.
Yeah,
but I think the thing with Kaido is he is at the peak. He's one of the four best, and that's still a plateau. He can't be the Joy Boy that he heard about.
Yeah, that's why I think it is.
So, like, even the rookie crusher, the one who crushes people's dreams, his dreams could only go so far because he wasn't Luffy at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think also this thought bubble you're having is Zoro flashing back to his time at Baratier, because it goes into that flashback, and that's what he says.
So
yeah, I think those are all Zoro.
Not the far right ones, but
I get what you're saying. The ones with the lines. I hope you're right, but the thing is, by showing King here in the first one.
No, so what I think is happening, this is King's thought bubble here. King gets knocked out, then we go into Zoro's head, and we go into Zoro flashing back to that time with Luffy at Baratier after he got beaten by Mihawk.
Because
I see what you're saying.
King just wants to make him the king of pirates, but Zoro has his own mission to make him the greatest at something.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Good save. You're absolutely right. It is a little, because they're using the same type of bubble, it seems like it's a connected thread. But you're right. There's this panel here that breaks the flow and gets us back in. I do remember, like, I thought the idea when I was saying that was that King said the same words as Zoro in the past, but you're right. That's not what happened.
That's why I thought too as well. And then I had to actually read this page twice to be like, no, I think those are two different, because that doesn't make sense logically from that thinking point. But it's interesting that he's just like, I'm going to be the king of hell, which is weird.
Some of that. Is that a weird translation thing?
No, Enma is the king of hell in lore. So, so he's embracing that epitaph of Emma. So this is an edgy Zoro line that I like. I think this is pretty cool.
So does this mean that Enma is going to be in his like one of his last swords he has? You think?
People have all sorts of theories of like what sword Zoro's going to walk out of this arc with, because like some people are like he's going to trade Enma for like another blade from the swordsmith. I have no idea what sword Zoro's. I'm just along for the ride as far as Zoro sword relationship stuff goes.
So right now,
he's got 3 Wano swords. What goes beyond?
Ichimoji, which is the childhood friend sword, the cursed sword, whose name I can't remember.
Yeah,
and then he has Enma.
Yeah.
So these are all Wano swords.
Yeah, he traded Shueisha. Shueisha is who sues us, Joe. Who closes our channel. Yeah, Shusui or whatever. So this is a recap chapter, but I kind of like this. I know some people might not like a recap chapter, but I feel like it gets us back on track for a climax.
It's the start of the year, you know. You got
and that too.
I've watched anime.
Big Mom's getting off screen. Lovely. I hate to see it. Very cool. So, like, Oda's always been bad with scale, but he keeps talking about how these numbers are bigger than giants, but they really don't look that big.
Also, this guy's a fucking centaur?
I think
What?
he wasn't always a centaur. If we go back to another chapter, I bet he had 2 legs, so he must be a gifter or a devil fruit user.
Yeah. Like, what?
But
He's been a centaur the whole time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Some of the maybe I do not. I will be honest and say I don't remember if he was always. I want to say he wasn't. Some of them are friendly towards Yamato, so that's pretty neat. Usopp is great this chapter where his cowardice turns into bravery in a way.
Y'all, Usopp ain't a part of the Cowardly 3 no more. Usopp has done legendary tier shit all post time skip.
By that logic, then neither are Nami and Chopper. They're just the cowardly trio for gags. But when it comes to like actual real shit moments, they're really cool. Like I was just rereading a part in Whole Cake where Big Mom lands on the Sunny, and Nami realizes she's about to break into where Carrot is sleeping, so she like distracts Big Mom, even though Nami is usually the biggest coward. So yeah, and Chopper always has like his clutch moments in the background. So they're all
Chopper like got infected to create a vaccine this arc.
Yeah.
That was Luffy who got infected.
Oh.
Chopper
I thought Chopper got sick too.
Nah, he just created the vaccine off screen. Oh, we talking about the Ice Oni? Did he get the Ice Oni? Is that what we're talking about?
I thought he did get Ice Oni.
I was thinking of the plague in the prison. There's been a lot of sicknesses, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I love
how Usopp is like, I'm gonna I'll with snot on my face, crying. I'm gonna fight to my last breath, and you guys should do the same. It's kind of like he's kind of slapping on that chivalrous, like honor-bound samurai way, and just being like, dude, just live. Who gives a shit about honor? Just live. Which is I agree with that. Yeah. Just no.
I love this panel of Usopp standing over their near dead bodies, just holding off all of the beast pirates. Like,
yeah, that's pretty cool actually, because that is a lot of them, and like these guys were like, Luffy wasn't totally fodderizing these guys, so they're not bad. Like they all used to be captains from other crews too, for the most part. And Usopp's over here holding them off, so that's pretty cool.
Cool, I'll leave you both and save my own skin. I like the panel in the bottom left with Izo fucking jumping in and
doing the circle blast, the Samira ultimate.
Yeah.
Clearing the
fucking silent in the jungle and then coming out and getting a pentakill.
I was thinking of Reaper from Overwatch, but I know you never think about that. And you know
what? Never.
You shouldn't. I'm wrong here, I'll admit it.
Why would I think of a game made by people?
Okay, alright. We're literally talking about Riot Games, so not much better.
Another game made by people, why would I think about that?
Izo's also jacked. I like how he knows who Usopp is. That's awesome.
I know he knows who God Usopp is!
In particular, it's true. It's like, oh, you know who I am? Oh, yeah. Hamlet's still out here helping. Everyone knows Hamlet's the best. This Raizo Fukurokuju situation is hilarious, actually. Like, I'm actually super down for this.
Yeah.
They both got each other paralyzed, but Raizo's gonna catch on fire first, which is cool if this is played seriously at the finale, where Raizo's burning to a crisp, but he's still hanging on, which would be badass because Raizo is kind of a silly, kooky kind of character. So it'd be cool for him to get a badass moment.
Has to go through a torturous scenario like the rest of Zao.
Yeah, and also it has parallels to Odin, of course, where he's gonna be burning. Y'all remember the character Kawamatsu? I might have made him up though. I don't. I might be. He might be a Bleach character. I think I'm confused.
Hey, wait, go back. Is Izo taking off her kimono like that in that style with her guns out to the left and right? Is that a Django reference?
No.
Are you sure?
It's just showing the tattoo. Also, Izo's a boy.
Izo goes by male pronoun.
Cross-dresser.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, this is reminding me of when Denjiro. Do y'all remember Denjiro? That was also a character that might have been like a Naruto character. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But they took off their shirts once and they were ripped. I remember Denjiro's like fat ass neck.
Yeah.
Izo's a little less ripped, but still looking pretty
neck
good.
memes.
fucking Apu's all over the place. I don't even know who he's allied with anymore. But I think
Orochi is playing with Hiyori right now.
yeah, we're jumping through a lot this chapter, so we're not getting a lot of mini scenes. I think we're just kind of catching up where everyone is and moving all the plot threads along a little bit. I do like these panels of like the CP9 guy fingering the giant and then landing as he falls. That looks pretty slick.
Diaz Drake is down.
He's just downed off screen.
As is tradition.
Man. This arc, like some of the action is just so rushed, and then finally we get to see Luffy Kaido. I feel like it's been 10 chapters since we've
It's been a whole year,
and it kind of sucks because you think of Luffy and Katakuri, like that fight lasts 12 hours, right? And a lot of it is technically off screen. But there's so much on panel time of that fight. Like you're getting 20 chapters where we keep going back to that fight frequently. And here it's like it's been a 10 chapter block where the last we saw of them was them like smiling at each other. And then we get this where they trade some blows and are smiling at each other again. So it feels like we haven't progressed much in this fight. So I don't know what to make of that. Like
Kaido's bleeding.
Kaido's been bleeding. He's a bitch boy compared to Big Mom, so we know this.
Yeah.
That's the truth people don't want to hear. But no, it is cool though. Like Luffy is going toe to toe. Like he's like, this is really to show that they're both giving it their all and they're both having fun. So like Luffy he trained for 2 weeks and became an emperor tier. It just is what it is. That's just
man. He just had to tell him how to use the hockey right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cancer hockey.
It's like learning how to grab in a fighting game.
The cancer hockey. That's a throwback Tyler theory.
Yeah.
Dude, it is cancer hockey. It shreds them from the inside out is literally what he said.
No, that does it to the enemy. I thought you were saying it does it to the person.
No, you give people cancer.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about Roger's virus or like his sickness a while back, and you were like relating that to advanced hockey. I think I might be making that up.
That they shred themselves as well. That's still a hot theory. That's why he died.
It's all right.
I mean, it makes sense. It's not Whitebeard had cancer.
Yeah, Whitebeard had it too.
That's actually a good... Wait, how come I've never thought about the fact that Whitebeard also had a sickness that might have been the same as Roger's? We don't know. It could have been the same as Roger's, but his was more treatable. Like, maybe technology was more advanced 20 years after, so like they can prolong his cancer, but he was still going to die eventually, and then Chopper will have to actually cure it when it gets to Luffy. I think that would be a cool progression of cool dudes getting cancer. That's
Super hockey gives you cancer.
The One Piece, the cure to cancer.
Anyways, yeah, like that's One Piece 2021 in the bag. A lot of cool stuff has happened, but I have been complaining about the same thing for like over a year. I feel like because it just stuff getting off screen, too many characters, not letting some stuff breathe. And we kind of end the year with me complaining about the same stuff. So
end the year, start the year, whichever way you want to see it, depending on if you read the scans or if you read it.
This would be our start of the year chapter. True.
What if? All right, you ready for this hot take? Yeah, I'll end this off with one.
Yeah.
What if Luffy cannot defeat Kaido and they're having fun beating each other up? We'll get the Kaido flashback, and throughout that flashback, at the end of it, Luffy will say something to a character that's only in Kaido's flashback that will convince Kaido to stop fighting and join the Straw Hat Pirates because he thinks that Luffy is now Joy Boy.
Did you say Luffy says something to a character in Kaido's flashback?
No. He says something to Kaido that a character that's only in Kaido's flashback said to Kaido.
Time and space.
Joe, I literally thought Tyler was Attack on Titaning. I was like, wait, you haven't read Attack on Titan.
Wait, don't tell me that!
You literally spoil the Attack on Titan for you. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no, is that what's happening in a few months?
Actually, yeah, no, that'll be pretty soon. Don't worry, it's not a long spoiler. But it is a cool fucking scene. That was like... Those were the days, man. Those were the days. Yeah, I mean, no, Kaido's not joining the crew, and you gotta be Kaido.
I have another hot theory. What if?
You're
What
making
if?
these up as you say them. I could.
No. I thought about this earlier when I was peeing. So, what if Joy Boy is like the creature from It Follows, where it transfers from person to person that you beat up? So once Luffy's done beating up Kaido, he'll get the Joy Boy title transferred to him.
Well, the thing is, Kaido is not the Joy Boy. He wants to be the Joy Boy, or someone. I'm gonna say Rocks wanted him to be the Joy Boy, and as Kaido grew up, he realizes he can't be.
Why does Luffy name his like punches like Rock Gun? What's up with that?
Rock is a mythical bird.
Yeah, it's a mythical bird. Yeah.
Got it.
So I think these advanced hockey attacks will be named after like mythical animals.
Yeah, he's gonna get mythical ants. Like he might, I don't know. We might get like Tiger Fist,
Cerberus, Gatling, something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
And the Pirate Warriors, he didn't get Rock Gun. He got Culver.
Dragon Culverin is what he uses to beat
Yeah.
Kaido in that game, which was a badass move, which I hope they canonize in the manga. So, like, I do have these complaints, but also, like, I just think rereading this would be better, right? Because, okay, I felt like the Zoro and Sanji fights were short, but then it was brought to my attention that they're the longest fights that they've ever had. And I was like, wow, I did not get that impression reading it. So I think I'm just getting skewed by the weekly or break to break reading that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's like Wano's still not reaching like my top 5 at all, like it is for some people. But maybe a reread might change that, because I know some people that are like Wano's the best arc. So it's like, what am I missing here? You know, I feel like there's such clear like. I think the biggest complaint comes down to screen time of certain scenes is just not enough for me. And as late as Whole Cake, I'm getting screen time of scenes, you know? So it's like, it's not like this has been a time skip issue. It's just like, it just happens in the arcs where Oda has too many characters. Like, it happened a little bit in Dressrosa, but even then, even in Dressrosa, I feel like we let stuff breathe a little more. It was chaotic, but like the scenes played out instead of.
I feel like this is a little bit more organized than Dressrosa is, but that's
it is definitely more organized, but I think it's also like there's just so much where it's like, and then we cut to Jinbei doing 2 panels worth of content, and then we cut to Zoro doing a page of content, and then we'll spend 6 pages on one scene and then cut back to a couple of other things. You know, it's whatever.
Robin's had the most continuous chapters. Like she had 2 full chapters.
2 chapters. It was incredible.
It was great.
And that's why it was
Best
the
weeks
best.
of my life.
It's sad when I'm asking for 2 chapters on a scene. Or it's,
You get it in the anime.
nah, but then the anime will make all of like this Zoro, this Luffy, and Kaido stare at each other is gonna take up a minute of the anime.
No, that's the entire episode. Okay,
Yeah.
get it right.
They're gonna flashback to like everything that's happened and thinking about like Joy Boy and sailing and Zoro.
In recent One Piece Theories news, Library of Ohara put out his big review series, or not review series, but analysis series of what he thinks the One Piece will end like. I didn't agree with a lot of it, and a lot of it seemed a little over the top, or like some of it just didn't click with me. But I will mention that his ultimate theory, that I guess spoiler if you want to go watch those videos themselves, is that the One Piece is Binks Sake or Binks Brew. Which that's something I think we brought up on the podcast. It might have been with Bradley actually, but it could have also been with Tyler. But we definitely talked about.
We definitely think the song is tied to One Piece in some way.
Yeah, but
Either like
I feel like it's come up when we were talking about like the big party theory. That's a theory I really like. That Luffy's main dream's to have the biggest party, and that like the Binks Brew would be a perfect cap off to that party. So I'm very down for that theory. That being said, though, you do have to rationalize like why are people laughing about it?
it's just that line Rayleigh says to Robin just haunts me every time I think about it.
You might come to different conclusions than we did.
Yeah.
That line might have not been talking about the treasure of One Piece, but the knowledge that comes along with the treasure, which would be the knowledge of the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's also cool because like when Odin is writing about it in the logbook, he says like, we learned the truth of this world.
Yeah.
Which is like, that goes into a theory that I like, where the One Piece world is artificially created by ores and fragments of the moons that were destroyed in the past. And like
That's why
to have a line
Maggie-
like, yeah, that's why the world is so created for adventure and so segregated. Because a line like, "We learned the truth of the world" is pretty intense. Like, not the truth of history, but the truth of the planet itself. That's what it could be alluding to. So I don't know. Yeah, that's all I had to bring up to finish. But if y'all have anything else you want to bring up,
What do you think next chapter's going to be?
that's a good question. Do we have one next week? No, it must have break week because we're doing.
It's 2
this.
weeks from now.
Yeah.
So I think we're going
It's
to
gonna
get more.
end with the Luffy and Kaido fight ending.
No, not at all.
That would make Wano one of the worst arcs in One Piece.
I think we'll have a Yamato focus section next week.
I agree. It's gonna be
or
Yamato
next
dealing with the
chapter.
bombs then.
Yeah, Yamato will be dealing with the bombs, and then I think we trail CP0 for a little bit longer, because right now, of the Straw Hat Pirates, I think Usopp might be Usopp, Brook, Robin, Nami are the most active of the crew at this moment.
Well, they're
Unless
the
I'm-
ones that haven't like done anything in a while, so
Yeah.
I feel like Brook, like people wanted Brook versus CP0, but I feel like the flame separating them kind of, because I think that was 2 chapters back, so we didn't talk about it today, but the flame separated them as the flame creature was moving down the buildings, so
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of ended that fight, but then Usopp might do it, like you're saying, but Brook is also protecting Robin, and they still talk about Robin, I think, last chapter, or it might have been this one as well. So they're definitely still on the Robin trail, so yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a fair bet, though. Yamato CP0 stuff. Are there any curveball chapters coming? I don't know.
We get something. We could get also a Momonosuke focus chapter with him like dealing with the clouds and like the fire festival too.
Right, so yeah, we have the clouds, we have the bombs, we have
think-
the fight.
I think the way this ends is just before the thing like falls and collapses. He hits all the clouds, but then he's like, "Oh God!" and like he transforms into Odin to like hold the thing above him just enough so it doesn't crash down. So they can all, and he'll transform into his older self, which looks like Odin.
Yeah,
and then everyone.
I think that's kind of a lock, honestly, for him to show his form as he's doing the Hour of Legends scenario. I think that would be a really cool way to reveal what he looks like as an adult now. So I'm down for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like if there could be a curveball right now, it's either Marines or Big Mom Pirates. I feel like there has to be a curveball, y'all. We've been steamrolling these guys. Zoro had a kind of like the toughest fight, but even he's not walking out of it completely broken like he did in like,
Big
a
Mom
Mr. Boss fight.
wins. Big Mom wins her fight. That's
Yeah.
the curveball.
Big Mom losing would be a negative strike for me as well, because I feel like Kid and Law just don't have that chemistry with her that Luffy does. So if she loses to them, I just don't care. Because also, like, at the end of this arc, people were like, "Oh, the new emperors are gonna be Luffy, Blackbeard, and Kid and Law or something." Like, there shouldn't be emperors by the end of the Emperor Saga, because that is a system that only exists because none of them can become Pirate King. So as soon as like Luffy becomes the front runner, I think emperors are no longer needed in the story or the world. So all that to say, like, like to make this arc, like if this arc's gonna be a hype arc, Luffy needs to somehow beat both of them. Like Law and Kid
Also,
beating
I
Big
don't-
Mom is so lame to me.
I don't think Luffy should beat Big Mom and Kaido at the same time, because that's a weird like power scaling thing.
But if it's a 1v1v1 where they're having a Clash of the Titans and they're splitting
Like
the
it's
sky
a three-way
three-way.
fight.
Yeah.
Maybe
Because
maybe
Big Mom's been so cheeky about this alliance the entire arc, and if you reread it, I'm sure it's also more apparent.
Yeah.
Because like And even as recent as the Peros and her conversation where she's like, I got plans, just trust me, Peros, just play along. Like,
I think
her betraying Kaido is a fun way to make this arc more interesting, and then we
I
have
could
a big
see
three-way.
where Big Mom goes up there and sees that like Kaido's about to be beaten or something, and she's like, well, if you get beaten, Kaido, Luffy falls and then dies to the Onigashima explosion. And if you beat Luffy, I'll just come back and kill you later, kind of deal, and just flies away. But
I could see it playing out where she beats Kid in Law, God willing. She goes up there. She sees Kaido's having a rough time. She feels she's healthier than Kaido at the moment, so she's like, this is my chance to take out my main rival in becoming Pirate King.
yeah,
But we'll
but
see.
I think she needs to like there's another standoff between her and Luffy later down the line, not beating them at the same time, but that could also happen.
But that's another power. If they do fight in Elbaf or something, Luffy should be able to beat her not too hard at this point if he's beating Kaido. So that's the thing. Like, just take them out both in the same arc. It's way more impressive. It's way cooler headlines. You know, it kills two birds with one stone.
The Soul Emperor Monkey D. Luffy.
I mean, Shanks is like, am I chopped liver? Blackbeard's ha-haing in the corner. Like, come on, man.
Zihaha. Blackbeard's fucking at Whole Cake Island kidnapping Pudding right now. You all know this.
Pudding's in a bag right now.
Yeah. Pudding is in lock
No,
and key.
but hold on. That would be like Blackbeard showing up is another cool idea because Blackbeard would show up with Moria. Moria succumbs and joins the Blackbeard crew. Because like,
And it's
how are we
on
not going to
Cairo.
have Moria in this arc? I thought that was such a missed opportunity because he even gets introduced in the Act 3 break or Act 2 break. We get Moria reintroduced into the time skip. So, oh well. All right, Tyler, send us off with one more made up theory, or just say bye.
One Piece is gonna end. The final fight in One Piece is gonna be like Naruto, where Blackbeard has Gecko Moria's devil fruit, and he just revives all of the like he revives Rocks and all of the other legendary dead pirates and Kaido and Big Mom and all that.
Fun fact: I think Moria already revived some of the Rocks pirates back in Thriller Bark. Some of those general zombies were, I think, those corpses, and they were very important. They weren't even like, I don't even know if those guys got to fight. But
I think
reviving Rock's kind of a neat idea with the Moria fruit. Actually, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
He could have Rock's body in a freezer somewhere. It's like, Moria, fancy running.
We could always go
here.
back to our Gates of Hell theory that we had about the One Piece, and they talked to ghosts.
I mean, Ghost Roger or future traveling Rogers almost guaranteed. Unfortunately, talking through the voice of all things, it's gonna be pretty cringy. Can't wait.
Yeah. The
All
paths.
right. That's enough One Piece. Yeah, the paths. That's enough One Piece. Bye-bye.
Bye.